brilliant acting, savage action through Wolverine. Logan, ladies and gentlemen. All this while I was opposing to the fact that there will always be someone who could replace Hugh Jackman, but no, that is not a possibility. DC and Marvel have extended the universe in the comic world. While DC has chosen branching out rights to grow its kids, Marvel has cleaned up its puke while smashing and reinventing one single universe. I'm saying this because this is the first time ever that a superhero had to deal with this child, leave alone Magneto and Quicksilver, because Eric never knew that he also had a son. It's 2029 and short opens with Logan's life. I said Logan, and so is the title of the film. If you would have got a connection, the first film was about his origin. Wolverine was about him being treated as a science project, and Logan, purely about Logan, the alter ego of the mutant called Wolverine, his human side. Sidetracking a bit, Japan was a huge chunk of Logan's life, a very important phase, same as Canada, but a very emotionally important phase. This is because in the comic he meets his love, his mentor, and his son. As a mutant you heal, but if you are a human you carry the scars for life. Emotionally and mentally, Logan should be completely disfigured and beyond complex damage. Darren Aronofsky, I can't imagine the level of magnificent Wolverine could have achieved if he would have directed this movie. The atrocities of life that he could have gone through. I wish Darren Aronofsky could have directed at least one of the Wolverine films. Coming back to the movie, the opening shot. He's drunk and sloshed in his limo somewhere in the desert, which shows that he's trying to live his life. Some gangbangers are trying to steal the limo, specifically the wheel, unaware of the fact that there is still someone in the car. He gets out of the car and asks them nicely to go away. And one of the car burglar just blasts him with a shotgun. I was like, the fuck? But slowly he heals and stands up and still asks them nicely to fuck off. And they all charge at him and beat the shit out of Logan. In that aggravating process, the entire theater was only waiting for Wolverine to unleash himself, and then the thieves, the car burglars, damage the car. Wolverine starts slicing and chopping people up. For the first time, the real Wolverine was unleashed on the screen. My eyes were like wide open with shock. The makers of the film were not getting on the R-rated part. The killing. That rage, bottled and unleashed anger by Hugh Jackman. Do not mess with this man. Keep in mind, Wolverine is losing his healing powers, because of which he's getting old. The adamantium's poison is affecting his body. No more accelerated healing because his rapid cell regeneration is on decline. Marvel's one of the most beautiful storyline, Old Man Logan. Wolverine is a driver. He rents out his limo and meets all sorts of new people. When he comes home, we see Caliban, who is complaining about the professor. This was a good chemistry shown on screen. They were almost like a middle-aged couple arguing and nagging a lot. Enter Charles Xavier, Professor X. We see an aging, sick, bitter and pretty old professor who has gone nuts. Or maybe he's acting like he is. First 10 seconds and Sir Patrick Stewart won over me. I was bowled over with his acting. While Logan and Caliban are taking care of Professor, we see Logan carrying some meds with him from the hospital. And now Professor X, Charles Xavier, is kept in a secluded and broken tank. After his seizure, the psychic attack which almost paralyzes Caliban and Logan, we understand why is there a necessity of keeping Professor X and the meds. This also clears the fact for the comic book readers as to why the other mutants are not visible in the comic book movie. Charles is the reason behind it. Keeping him under meds could be linked to X-Men Days of Future Past, and the psychic attack could be linked to X2 X-Men United. Once again, beautifully portrayed, beautifully shown. That thrill and you holding yourself tightly as to what's gonna happen next. Damn good, James Mangold. Logan shares a very old and seasoned chemistry with Charles. Again, two characters who have been playing the same role in more than 9 movies. Must be very easy for them to get this kind of chemistry on screen. Great screenplay and more than brilliant acting was seen here. Enter X-23 Laura. X-23's caretaker contacts Logan, but he instead rubbishes her request and asks her to go away. And he also wishes to stay away from her because he learns that Transigen is behind her, or maybe them. Now, Transigen are the same people who were seen in the last X-Men film. As of now, Logan's plan is to take Charles and Caliban and move to Canada. The plan gets flat-tired when the nurse, Laura's caretaker, approaches and pleads to Logan to transport herself and Laura to a secret location, the Eden. Roped in with the money, Logan goes to Charles to explain him the situation. When he goes back to the motel to pick up the girls, he finds the young girl missing and the nurse dead. What were you expecting? He grabs the money and goes back to the hideout to pick up his team. Somehow Boyd, Transigen's muscle and soldier, finds Logan and asks him to hand over the girl. The tension is increasing now. Right when things are about to get gory, Boyd is struck with an iron pipe. Same as Tom and Jerry. And then another one comes in direct contact with Logan's face, but his jungle cat-like reflexes catches it. Charles tells Logan that she was the one with whom he was in continuous contact with. Meanwhile, Logan asks Caliban to take care of Boyd's body and dump it somewhere. Now, what I found out about this cat Caliban was, in the previous movie, X-Men Apocalypse, he was talking in third person. Caliban doesn't like this, Caliban doesn't like this, Caliban is that. But in this movie, he's just speaking as if like a normal person, which was quite odd. Meanwhile, Logan is trying to ready everyone for a trip. We see Transformers Age of Extinction scene. A huge army barges in, a girl, a father and his friend. When Boyd informs Logan about Caliban, he loses his control and is put down by the cybernetically enhanced goons. They go in for Laura because that's whom they've actually come for. 3 men go in and only an 8-year-old girl and one head comes out. What could have happened in that? As the tension increases, we discover that Laura has claws. Not just in the hands, but also in the feet. Plot point 1. The fight sequence was as brutal as it could get. Same as when you unleash an animal on its prey. A very hungry, a very psychotic, a very dangerous, a very... Surprises after surprises, it was cruel and murderous. Between all this killing, Logan somehow manages to escape with Charles as his priority. When they access the nurse's phone, they learn about Laura's origin and how she is Logan's blood, an experiment, an asset, a liability, and a rogue soldier who needs to be put down. Later we see the harsh, unavoidable yet budding chemistry between Logan and his daughter. How both of them are trying to cope up with each other and Logan stopping Laura from creating any socially awkward situations. Logan learns about the new Project X-24, a lethal and more controlled subject who would be replacing the other kids, Laura's friends, who were previously being trained as the soldiers, mutant soldiers. Fun fact, Captain America was X2 and Wolverine was Project X. Caliban is still alive and is being used as a tracker to hunt down Laura and others. Meanwhile, Logan is trying to arrange some necessities for the escape. He learns that Eden was just a reference from the X-Men comic book which was then made on them, and that he was following an fancy escape route till now. As he reaches the hotel, he encounters a few of the Transigen's army and also Charles' major psychic attack. He's Caesar. Again, a unique of an action sequence while everyone is ridiculously affected and mentally paralyzed because of Charles. This also includes all the soldiers who have their guns pointed on Charles' face. Somehow, Wolverine alone reaches at the room. This was a quicksilver moment for him as everyone was frozen and Wolverine was terrified and repeatedly fighting the psychic attack. He finds different ways to poke 3 holes in all the hired goons. Cool. Very cool. Imagine from the soldier's point of view, the horror. They can see the death coming towards them and they cannot do anything about it. Laura and Logan somehow manage to help each other out and stop Charles Caesar with a suppressant. They escape and find themselves at the farmer's house because of the help they had offered earlier. As usual, no matter where Logan goes, he brings death along with him. Caliban tracks him down to the farmer's house. By now, Dr. Reese, the Reavers, Transigen soldiers, have arrived there. Dr. Reese is the person responsible for all these new projects. Logan sets out in the night to help the farmer. When dawn breaks, Charles, confesses that he remembers what he has done and why Logan has been using the suppressants to suppress his psychic powers. He remembers the horror of killing all the mutants. He turns around to face Logan and is stabbed slowly by someone who looks like Logan. He kills everyone in the house and carries handcuffed Laura downstairs. He meets Logan in the house and both share a look, which is a bit awkward and weird for me because there's a person who looks exactly like him and he has killed everyone. He is also carrying the handcuffed Laura. And Logan is not giving a shit about it. I mean, he's thinking, as to what's... he has seen a lot of shit in his days, but doesn't make any sense. So, he is looking at the screaming and captured Laura, and he looks up at Charles' room. You can see how Logan has still prioritized Charles over Laura as he lets X-24 take her away. He discovers that Charles is stabbed in the chest, who asks Logan to save his daughter. Meanwhile, some rednecks with whom Logan had messed with earlier come with a huge team and they find X-24. When he goes out of control, Dr. Rice tries controlling X-24 as he was the one who had created him, so it's like he is his father somehow. This new mutant is apparently Wolverine's blood too, which is but obvious. So in short, Wolverine meets his daughter and also his son. I was really expecting the Daken angle. I love this character. At one point of time I even wished to possess his coolness and evil charm. Daken was a brilliant character developed by Marvel. But we get X-24 with the same amount of hatred as Daken for the previous Logan. With the original Logan. When Logan engages with X-24, he is miserably defeated. Old man Logan is smashed, stabbed, jabbed, sliced, poked and is taken over by a drugged, angry and more improved version of Logan. Lucky for Logan, the farmer dies helping him out. While everything is going down, Boyd readies his men to capture Wolverine and Laura. I love the fact how nobody gives a fuck about Wolverine. Project X. Anyways, Caliban sacrifices himself to save Laura and Wolverine, which works out. Keep in mind, Logan's healing power has reduced, so all the slashing and slicing, it's not gonna heal that fast. Next we see more of daddy-daughter chemistry as these guys still don't connect. Logan is heartbroken and he feels lost because the only person who has ever helped him was 6 feet under the ground. Charles is dead. Laura managed to bring the duo to the Eden, which somehow exists. Meanwhile, Logan is still trying to heal from his fight with X-24, which is not going quite well. He finds himself around 13 kids who manage to stay alive. Kids also manage to give him the old man Logan look. While the kids leave Logan without notifying him, he somehow hears the scream when he wakes up and looks out for them. He takes the drug which accelerates his healing and encounters a Reavers, Boyd and Dr. Rice. Hugh Jackman really makes the audience feel old when he actually tires it. I actually felt as if I was running this the entire time and I was tired. He injects himself with drug and finds himself fighting with the soldiers, the hired goons. Laura, like always, as a savage, helps him out in slicing those men. Meanwhile, the other kids, the other 13, the other 12 kids get captured as they have received zero training, so they don't fight back much. Logan manages to kill Dr. Rice and then X-24 is unleashed upon him by Boyd. The drug has worn off and Wolverine, who is already hurt, scarred, sick, tired, unfit, old and with decline healing factor and poisoned body, has to face his improved version. He is owned! Lucky for him, X-23 attacks X-24 like crazy and she keeps stabbing and poking him rapidly to the extent that X-24 takes time to heal. He throws her off and she keeps coming back. Boyd somehow discreetly gets Logan, but the other 12 kids use their powers together and take Boyd down. Finally, in the end, X-24 gets the better of Logan and he pushes him through an uprooted tree bark. This will be the second time that in a superhero film, a superhero has had a huge hole in his chest. Anyways, Laura uses the adamantium bullet which Logan had saved himself for a sweet day. So she uses it in the revolver and shoots X-24's brain off. which I found quite weird, because how is that gonna affect or kill X-24? Wolverine in his movie Wolverine Origins healed from 3 adamantium bullets. So why can't X-24? It didn't make it. I mean, yes, the bullet did blew off a huge chunk of his brain, but it can heal back, right? Logan dies a very sad death. The death was as disappointing as it was in the comic. I was angry. I was pissed. The kids take off. The end. I mean, show something. Why did the logic have to die in the end? His healing power was declining. It did not vanish. He could have survived and he could have started a small Jean Grey school for gifted children, but no. What the f? This is all Charles' fault. Logan, like a fucking good boy, approaches Charles to change the future in the X-Men Days of Future Past, and what does Charles do? He lets him rot. If Charles would have not been this selfish or doped in his mind, Logan's life would have not become hell. If he would have searched for him, then Logan would have not been experimented upon. F*** you, Charles! So Logan is dead. No more Wolverine. Why? How did his healing factor give up? That was Logan for me. Beautiful chemistry, superb storyline, great and superbly great character built up and sketch, bloody gaudy good action. Seriously, just go watch the movie for the action. You would literally love it. This was the best Wolverine action. Loved every single character from the movie except for X-24. He was not necessary actually. Would go watch it again. I'll give it 0 yawns. Go watch it, love it, enjoy it, and tell me what you think about it. Give me your opinions in the comment section. Hit like if you like the video and subscribe for more. Good, beautiful movie. I think this is a year for all the superhero lovers to find the piece which Logan couldn't. Where the f*** is Charles?